I'm a 3D artist, and in this video, I designed increasingly overpowered Minecraft equipment and even got a professional mod developer to rate my work from 1 to 10. These are some of the best I've ever designed, so if you like what you see, I'd appreciate if you subscribe. The first things I wanted to design were some overpowered axes. As a 3D artist, I can make complicated models for just about anything in the game, but all those years of geometry and technical stuff means my actual art skills are severely lacking. I'm not even an artist anymore. So before I jump into the overpowered axes, I'm gonna need to train my instincts faster than Smash players training for, well, jail. And the best way for me to do that is by speed designing all of the axes currently in Minecraft. They're smaller than the axes I'm gonna make, and there's no 3D modeling involved. With that, I touched grass for the final time, opened up Photoshop, and started doing it in 3D anyways, completely out of habit. I literally didn't notice for at least 2 hours. Minecraft's wood axe texture is pretty good. It's unique, it's recognizable. Now, I've never seen a wooden axe, but I have seen a metal axe with a wooden head on it, and it didn't look like this. I started the new one by bending the stick to make it look more fragile, and then I shaped the head a bit more to make it more organic, as opposed to, I mean, what is this, a 2x4 on a stick? I played with the colors for a while, and I did settle on the originals, but it did make me wonder if there could be different textures based on the wood you used to craft it. Just a thought. Now, the stone axe is a different story, because if you duct taped a rock to a stick, it probably would look exactly like this, but I thought I would make the blade a little more refined, since this is a realistic game after all. Just like in real life, fireflies don't exist because they can poison frogs. Also, just like real life, you can carry 1 billion kilograms of iron while sprinting and also teleporting. Speaking of iron, for the iron axe, I wanted to do something different. This is the first tier of axe that actually has a good amount of durability, so I did away with the limp rod for now in favor of this battle axe-like shape, which my blacksmith friend tells me is called a Mrbeast. For the gold axe, which is about as durable as my will to live, I didn't change much except turning the blade into a boomerang so Australians finally have something to survive their Lovecraftian hellscape with. You know, they really should make a game where you try to escape Australia. Never mind. Now, the diamond axe is one of the strongest in the game, so I need this one to actually be good. Being a perfectionist, I realize that's hard to believe, I spent entirely too long trying to make the shape of the blade. Having 16 pixels to work with is annoying, but it's also necessary, because if there were any more pixels, I would have exponentially more overthinking to do. The netherite axe is gonna be the same design, not because I'm a lazy little guy, but because netherite stuff is crafted by delicately placing a single piece of netherite onto the diamond version. These new axes were looking awesome, but compared to the axes I made next, they are nothing. They are garbage. Worthless. Okay, they're not that bad. Come on, I've seen worse pixel axes. Am I right, folks? I can make better art than some children. The first step to making an overpowered axe like this is a theme. What's the main concept I'm getting at here? Is it an alien theme? Is it a technology theme? Is it Else theme version A, cut and looped for an hour? The theme I'm going for first is Undead, an undead axe that could summon skeletons and minions to fight for you. I have been blatantly ripping off Skylanders for the better part of my career, and I don't intend to stop now. There's two ways to go from a concept to a finished product. One is to gather themed elements and references and gradually put them together until you have a rough draft that's worth fine-tuning and sharing with the world. And then the second option is Ericat on YouTube. She makes concept art for me so I don't have to do anything or think about it at all. Undead Minecraft axe, please. Thank you. Go subscribe if you like drawing and lines. The concept for the Undead axe included 3 main parts. The handle, which is a human spine, the blade, which is made of gold, and the literal pile of skulls. This will be very easy to make in cube graphics. Sarcasm is my coping mechanism. It wasn't easy. In fact, it was very difficult, but little by little, I successfully translated this image into cubes. And wouldn't you know it, it looks a little bit different. But that's alright, because I took the creative liberties to make it work. Example, instead of 3 hyper-realistic human skulls, I stylized them into a dragon, a ghost, and me, after I defaulted on my loans in Animal Crossing. I have no idea how, but I successfully managed to design this axe based on the concept art, and it looks incredible. But if I'm gonna impress the mod developer, there's still a couple things on the list. Before I got into the really complicated stuff, I figured I would do one more axe for good measure, this time based on redstone. Thankfully, this design is really rigid and geometric, so I shouldn't have any problems making it with cubes, unless of course I add like 10 more things to make it harder for myself, which I would never do. Okay, so there's a solid beam of redstone arcing through the middle of the axe and a smooth quartz backing since it's associated with redstone items. Don't even get me started on the deep slate ventilation system. I'm thinking this one could work like a Tesla coil or something, forming some kind of redstone lightning. At the end of the day, the redstone axe turned out great, but my most complicated weapon was still yet to be made, and the call with the mod developer was fast approaching. But little did he know, this time would be different, because this time, for the first time, we actually get to test them out in Minecraft. If there's anything I've learned over the years, coming up with ideas is free, but actually making those ideas into reality is very much not free. Which is why today's video is partnered with PayPal's Honey. Honey is the #1 shopping tool in America that automatically searches for promo codes so you don't have to. I personally have used Honey for years, back since the dark ages before I even had a YouTube channel. It saved me money back then, and it saves me money to this day. And as a person who regularly spends a lot of money on very questionable projects, that is very useful to me. Honey works for things you're already buying on sites you're already shopping on. Video games, electronics, topsoil, things you could be saving on right this very moment. It's super easy to use and can be added with just a few clicks. I can't recommend Honey enough. It's simple, it's fun, and you can add it to your browser for free at joinhoney.com/DanielCraft. Here it is on screen for those of you who still manage to spell my name in every possible way but the right one. But that's enough of that, let's get back to the video. Before I can show the mod developer, I need one final piece to show off. Something more technical, more useful than a simple weapon. Thankfully, there is one particular item that without fail has improved every single game it's been added to. That of course is the grappling hook. In my last bosses video, I designed a piglin champion who uses chains to swing around the room. What if the player could get an item to allow them to do the same thing? I spent a couple hours testing out grappling hooks from popular games. I'm told this game has a pretty good one. I'll check it out real quick, make a couple notes. I can't show you this for money reasons, but the grappling hook is pretty good. But I can't just rip off Doom. The grappling hook I make needs a unique identity. But that's the problem. What does a real grappling hook even look like? Okay, got it. The haphazard look of the grappling hook got me thinking. What if my grappling hook was a modified crossbow that launches a harpoon instead of arrows? And that's when I finally got started. I used the basic form of a crossbow to get going, but it quickly devolved into madness as soon as I started looking up pictures of actual crossbows. I added several gears and moving pieces, and before long it really started coming together. Oddly enough, the hardest part was the harpoon itself. At first I went for a shape not unlike the default arrows in the game, but it didn't fit the style of my new design very well. I also tried a cubic version. We don't talk about the cubic version. Finally, I just threw in the towel and started bending cubes to make it look like an arrow, and that absolutely did the trick. This looks amazing. For a color palette, I went with wood, copper, and chain. For one last step, I made a firing animation just to see how all the moving parts would work, and I am at a loss for words. This thing is so cool. I'm calling it the chain hook. I was gonna call it the meat hook, but Doom. After all those hours of work, it was finally time to show the mod developer. Will he like what I made, or will he be disappointed? We will see, because without further ado, I was finally out of time. Hey, I made more weapons.
Oh no. My initial feedback is, wow, man. It's amazing how much detail you crammed into this thing, considering that it's just voxels. I really like the top skull. It almost looks like it's breathing fire. I really like that the blade has little notches out of it, like it's been used. I'm very tempted to give this a 10 out of 10, but I have to go with a 9 out of 10. Purely because, while this is an absolutely amazing model, it's actually a little too complicated for Minecraft. Is it like a two-headed axe, like side by side? You know, it actually kind of reminds me of Terraria a little bit. The quartz is a nice addition too. I think the color complements the red and black pretty well. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, now I can see the glow that you were talking about between the blades. I think this is actually so cool that it retroactively takes another point away from the undead one. So this is now a 9, and the previous one is now an 8.
Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how it works in the game.
The model actually fits pretty well. It looks like something that I could see in a Bedrock add-on. Yo, dude!
I also noticed if you pair it with an elytra,
oh my god.
you can start spinning around at Mach speed and you get like this massive speed boost.
My brain is racing with all the uses for this in multiplayer. Imagine fighting the Ender Dragon with this.
Yeah, because you could hook onto the dragon and start spinning around it.
Dude, that's just Attack on Titan. This is the best grappling hook mod I've ever seen. This thing has a lot of potential.
Do you want to try it out for yourself?
Yeah. Oh, look at the range on this thing. This is absolutely nauseating, and I love it. I've been smiling for like the last 20 minutes, dude.
Oh no. Oh no. Wait, why does that actually kind of work?
$15 out of 10, dude. This is the most fun grappling hook I've ever used in my entire time playing Minecraft.
Alright, thanks so much, dude. Check out Skylar's channel below, by the way, if you get the chance.
YouTube.com/SkylarBeck.
I'm planning on releasing this mod eventually, so if you want it, you subscribe. It's that easy. Huge shout out to Mark K for making the chain hook mod. Go to his Discord if you need a mod of your own. And with that, have an amazing month, and I will see you next time.